Can the right haircut really take 10 years off your face? After 60, confidence isn't about chasing trends. It's about refining your look in a way that fits who you are now. In this video, we're going to walk through 6 powerful haircuts that don't just clean you up, they lift your whole presence. From subtle structure to bold shaves, these styles are all about helping older men look sharp, feel fresh, and carry themselves with strength. These aren't boyish cuts trying to hide age. They're mature, confident choices that make you feel like yourself again. Let's talk about the haircut that could change how you walk out your front door. 1. The classic taper cut. What if I told you that one trip to the barber could take 10 years off your face without touching your skin, your wardrobe, or your wallet? That might sound like a stretch. But hear me out. I spent most of my life with the same haircut. Clean on the sides, short on top. It worked fine when I was 30, 40, even 50. But as I got older, I noticed something changing. Not just in the mirror, but in how I felt when I walked into a room. It's not about being vain. It's about feeling like yourself again. That moment when you catch your reflection in a window and think, yeah, that's still me. The first time I noticed I didn't feel that way was after my 65th birthday. My hair had thinned out just enough that my usual cut started making my head look flat. My face looked longer, my jaw softer. I started feeling older, not just in years, but in energy. Then, one day, I was waiting for my regular haircut and noticed a man walk out of the chair next to mine. He must have been 70, maybe older, but he looked sharp, confident, younger than most men a decade younger. I asked him what he asked the barber for. He said, "Classic taper. Keep the edges clean. A little texture on top." That stuck with me, so I gave it a shot. And let me tell you, it changed everything. The classic taper cut is one of the smartest choices an older man can make. It's not flashy, it's not trendy, but it works. Here's why. As we age, our hairline changes. Our face shape softens. We lose volume in places we used to have definition. A good taper cut brings some of that structure back. It's clean around the edges, especially near the ears and neck. That makes your whole appearance look intentional, like you still take pride in the details. And it's not too short on top, which helps keep the shape of your head balanced. If you're starting to thin out on top, the taper gives you a way to keep the sides neat without making the crown look even thinner by comparison. And if your hair is still thick, even better. The taper helps control bulk while giving your barber a canvas to shape something sharp and flattering. You'd be surprised how much difference it makes when the sides and neckline are cleaned up properly. Suddenly, your shirt collar fits better, your glasses look more natural, your whole face appears more defined. When I walked out of the shop that day with a proper taper, my wife noticed right away. "You look like you're about to give a speech," she said. I laughed. But I'll be honest, I stood a little taller that afternoon. Confidence isn't about ego. It's about recognition, seeing yourself again, and being proud of it. And if you've been stuck with the same haircut for decades, I promise you, you don't have to do anything drastic. Just ask your barber for a tapered cut, keeping the length slightly longer on top and blending the sides clean into the neckline. Tell them you want a natural finish around the ears and a tighter shape near the base of your neck. Avoid harsh lines unless that's your style. A soft taper grows out gracefully and doesn't need constant upkeep. Now, if you're thinking, "That sounds good, but I'm not sure my barber knows how to do it," here's a tip. Take a photo with you. Search for "classic taper haircut older man." You'll find plenty of examples. Bring one that matches your hair type and head shape. A good barber will know what to do. And if this story and advice are hitting home, if it's got you thinking about making a change, I'd appreciate it if you like this video and subscribe to Glowing Age. We share practical, honest advice to help you age with confidence, not confusion. You don't need to look 30 again, but you can absolutely look and feel like the best version of who you are right now. That taper cut was the first step for me. It told the world I still cared. and that quiet shift in appearance made a loud difference in how I carried myself. So the next time you sit in the barber's chair, don't just say, "the usual." Say, "let's clean it up a bit. Taper the sides, keep the top natural." Then look in the mirror. You might just see the younger, sharper version of yourself looking back. And he never really left. He was just waiting for the right haircut to show up again. 2. The textured crop. Most men don't realize how much difference a little texture can make until they try it. I didn't either. For years, I kept my hair short and simple. No layers, no movement, just the same old, same old. But as the years rolled on, that simple style started making me look tired. Not because I was tired, but because the cut sat flat on my head. It made my face look longer, my scalp more visible, and somehow it just aged me. Then one day, a younger barber asked me, "Have you ever tried a textured crop?" I raised an eyebrow. "What's that?" I asked. He explained, short on the sides but with a little lift and layering on top to add volume and movement. I was skeptical, but I figured, why not? That cut turned out to be one of the best decisions I've made in my 60s. The textured crop is a quiet game changer. It doesn't scream for attention. It just does its job, and does it well. As we get older, our hair naturally loses density. It gets finer. It may not recede much, but it thins in places we don't always notice right away. A textured crop gives your hair the illusion of thickness. It breaks up the flatness. It gives you that gentle, lifted shape on top that subtly pushes everything upward, including how you look and feel. It also softens the face. You see, a lot of older men start to develop sharper features, cheekbones, jawlines, forehead lines. A flat haircut can actually make those features more severe, but a little texture on top softens those lines, makes everything look a little more alive. The best part? It's easy to maintain. You don't need fancy styling creams. Just a small bit of light pomade or even a dab of your wife's hand lotion can help bring the texture to life. Run your fingers through once in the morning and you're set. I noticed something else too. People started commenting. "You look more refreshed." "Did you do something different?" My grandson said, "Grandpa, you look kinda cool." Now, I'm not chasing trends, but I'll take cool, especially when all I did was change how the top of my head was trimmed. When you go to the barber, just say this: "I'd like a textured crop." Keep the sides short, but leave some length on top. Add layers, keep it soft, not spiky. If your hair is thinning, let them know you want to build volume without it looking too sculpted. This cut works especially well if you wear glasses. The texture on top balances the frames on your face. It brings the attention up, away from any sagging in the jawline or neck. It's a smart cut, honest, practical, and a whole lot more flattering than the flat cuts most older men get stuck with. If you've ever looked in the mirror and thought, "I look tired," when you're not actually tired, this might be your fix. Try it. That little bit of texture gave me a little bit of spark back. And that spark, it shows up in the way you walk, the way you smile, the way you carry yourself in a room. Sometimes it only takes a haircut to remind the world and yourself that you're still fully in it. Still sharp, still stylish, and still strong. 3. The side part, modern or classic. There's something about a side part that just feels right, like a firm handshake or a crisp collar. It's classic, reliable, and if you ask me, it's one of the most underrated ways to look younger without doing anything drastic. When I was growing up, nearly every man I knew wore a side part. It was part of the look, a clean line, a bit of order, but somewhere along the line, it fell out of fashion. People started calling it old-fashioned, even outdated. But here's what no one tells you. When it's done right, a side part isn't old. It's timeless. A couple of years ago, I ran into a friend I hadn't seen in decades. He looked sharp, polished but relaxed. His hair wasn't fancy, but it framed his face just right. When I asked him what changed, he said, "I went back to a side part." Feels like me. That stuck with me. The modern side part, or even the traditional one if you prefer, does a few things exceptionally well for older men. First, it defines your hairline. As we age, the hairline can become less precise, especially around the temples. A side part brings shape back. It gives structure where the hair might be thinning or softening. Second, it elongates the face. This helps if you feel like your face has started to sag or broaden with time. The side part draws the eye upward and diagonally, lifting your whole appearance. Third, and this is subtle, it makes your grooming feel intentional. Like you still care, like you're still tuned in. You don't need to go extreme. You don't need a deep part or high fade. Just a natural side part, cleaned up along the temples and lightly trimmed to follow your natural growth pattern. And if your hair is thin, even better. A side part lets you work with what you've got, creating the illusion of more volume by pushing the hair to one side and giving lift where you need it most. When I tried it again, after years of the same flat, forward-facing style, I was surprised how quickly I felt more like myself. A little more polished, a little more professional, a little more present. My barber called it the gentleman's lift. If you wear glasses, this cut pairs beautifully. It sits well with the lines of your frames and pulls attention back to your eyes. Want to ask for it at the barber shop? Say, "I'd like a soft side part." Keep it natural, not too hard a line. A bit of length on top to comb over, shorter on the sides, but blended. Your barber will know exactly what to do, and don't worry about maintaining it. A little water, maybe a touch of lightweight styling cream, and a comb is all it takes. 5 seconds in the mirror. That's it. There's power in the simple things. And if this part of the video is sparking a memory of how you used to feel, and how you'd like to feel again, please like this video and subscribe to Glowing Age. Because sometimes the best style moves aren't new at all. They're just rediscovered at the right time. I found that the side part says something quietly powerful. It says, "I'm still here, still refined, still in the game," and for a man over 60, that's a message worth sending. 4. The short Pompadour. There's something powerful about a haircut that gives you height, especially when gravity starts pulling everything else down. The first time I saw myself with a short Pompadour, I didn't quite recognize the man in the mirror. Not because it looked fake, but because it looked strong, intentional, youthful. The short Pompadour is one of the most underrated haircuts for older men. You might hear the word and think of Elvis or old rockabilly looks, but that's not what we're talking about here. This version is neat, subtle, and perfectly suited for a man over 60. Here's what makes it work. The short Pompadour adds volume at the top, and volume is your friend after 60. It creates a vertical lift that makes your face look longer and leaner. That little bump of height balances out any sagging around the jaw or neck. It subtly reshapes your whole profile. But unlike the big pomp of the 1950s, this one keeps the sides short and natural. Tapered, not shaved. The top isn't too long either, just enough to comb back with a slight curve or wave. You don't need thick hair to pull this off. In fact, it works really well with fine or thinning hair because that lift gives the illusion of fullness. What I like most about it is that it's polished, but not stiff. You can wear it clean for a dinner out, or a little messy for a casual look. It adapts to your day. When I walked into my granddaughter's graduation with this haircut, my son said, "Dad, you look good." That meant a lot, because sometimes we do things for ourselves, but it's nice when the people around us notice too. Want to try it? Ask your barber for a short pompadour with clean sides, either faded gently or tapered. Keep the top no more than 2 inches, just enough to push back with a brush or comb. A dab of styling cream or mousse is all you need, not gel. You want it soft, touchable, not crunchy. This cut does a few things really well. Lifts the face by drawing the eye upward, adds volume without looking puffy, frames the head in a way that feels youthful, not dated. It's also great if your hairline has receded a little, The way it's styled back gives a full appearance without pretending to be something it's not. And let me say this, there's confidence in a hairstyle that looks like effort, even when it's easy. Sometimes a haircut is more than a haircut. It's a decision to show up, to walk into the room with your head high and your style just a little higher. And that quiet confidence, it speaks volumes, just like the right haircut. 5. The crew cut, or Ivy League. When I was in the service, the crew cut was just part of life. Clean, sharp, no nonsense. Back then, it was a symbol of discipline. But now, years later, I've come to see it in a new light. It's not just a haircut, it's a statement. The crew cut, or the slightly longer Ivy League version, is one of the most dependable, dignified haircuts a man can wear past 60. It doesn't try too hard, it doesn't shout. It simply says, "I'm still standing tall." I remember getting mine trimmed short before my grandson's wedding. I wanted something tidy, but I didn't want to fuss with pomade or spend 5 minutes in front of a mirror. My barber suggested the Ivy League, short on the sides, a little extra on top to comb slightly over. It was perfect. The sides were close, but not too close. The top was neat, but not flat. And the whole shape gave my face a sense of clarity. My jaw looked stronger. My eyes stood out more. And best of all, it stayed that way without any effort. These cuts are ideal for men who want to look smart without spending time styling. The crew cut gives you a fresh, athletic look. The Ivy League gives you a touch of classic prep, without looking stiff. They both do one thing really well: frame your face. As we age, we lose some definition around the chin and neck. But when your hair is trimmed tight on the sides and shaped cleanly around the crown, it draws attention upward, to your eyes, your brow, your expression. That's where your wisdom lives. That's where your stories come from. Let the haircut point people there. If you're wondering what to ask for at the barbershop, say this: "I'd like a crew cut or Ivy League. Short sides, tapered around the ears, leave a bit of length on top to comb over if I want." It's easy to maintain, looks good with or without facial hair, and it pairs beautifully with hats or glasses. It's the haircut that says you still mean business, but you're also relaxed enough to enjoy yourself. I've worn a few different cuts in my life, but this one always feels like home. So if you're looking for a haircut that gives you strength, structure, and a quiet kind of cool, give the crew cut, or the Ivy League, a try. And if this idea has helped you picture something better for yourself, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Glowing Age. We're here to share the little things that make a big difference. Because dignity isn't about dressing up. It's about standing proud in your own skin. And sometimes the right haircut helps you do exactly that. 6. The clean shave or bald look, with groomed beard optional. There's something bold about letting go. When the hair starts to thin beyond saving, when the crown fades and the sides no longer quite match the top, some men try to cover it up. They comb it over, grow it out, or try to style their way around it. But others? They lean in. They take control. And in doing so, they often look stronger for it. I'm talking about the clean shave or the close buzz, with or without a groomed beard. Now, before you say, "That's not for me," hear me out. I used to think the same. I held on to my hair longer than I should have, tried to keep it tidy, tried to make it work. But eventually, there wasn't enough on top to shape, and what remained started making me look older, not wiser. I looked like I was hanging on. One day, I stood in front of the mirror, clippers in hand, and made the decision. Clean. All the way. And you know what surprised me? I didn't look older. I looked bolder. There's a confidence that comes from shaving your head intentionally. It says, "I'm not hiding anything." It says, "This is me, and I'm proud of it." The clean shave, or the very short buzz, is ideal for men who have significant thinning or patchiness. Rather than trying to camouflage it, you own it. You take control of the look. Pair it with a well-groomed beard, and suddenly you've got a style that's sharp, masculine, and modern. The contrast between a smooth head and defined facial hair creates shape and depth. It draws attention to your eyes, your jawline, and your smile. Even without a beard, a clean-shaven head looks great with the right glasses or a crisp shirt. It highlights your posture, your facial expressions, and your overall presence. What I love most about this look is how freeing it is. No bad hair days, no fussing in the mirror, no worrying about wind or rain or hats. You wake up, you wash your face, and you're ready. Ask your barber for a close buzz or a clean shave with a straight razor, depending on what you're comfortable with. They can show you how to maintain it at home. Or you can come in once a week for a touch-up. If you do grow a beard, keep it trimmed. Even just a short stubble can frame your face beautifully. Keep the neck clean and the edges defined. It makes all the difference. I've never had more compliments from strangers than I did after I went clean. Not because I looked younger, but because I looked like I meant it. People respect authenticity, and there's nothing more authentic than embracing what is and making it look intentional. So if you've been hiding under a hat, avoiding the mirror, or fighting a losing battle with your hairline, maybe it's time. Let go, clean it up, own the look. You're not defined by what's on your head. You're defined by how you carry what's left and how you move forward from there. Sometimes the strongest look is the simplest one, and sometimes that simple choice is what makes you stand tall again. A good haircut doesn't change who you are. It reminds you of who you've always been. Whether it's a classic taper, a sharp crop, or a clean shave, the right cut brings your features into focus and puts confidence back in your step. Because aging well isn't about hiding. It's about showing up with purpose and pride. If this video gave you a fresh idea, or the nudge to try something new, like it and subscribe to Glowing Age. This is your space to rediscover style and strength at every stage of life. And I'd love to hear it in the comments. What's the best haircut you've ever had? Or the one you've been thinking about trying next? Because the right cut is never just about hair. It's about how you feel walking into the world each day.